happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, Gilly, Pa. My name is Grefina Pa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Topo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like with no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
wow.
CNN, ABC News. We bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal Online TV.
Morning, fellow Liberians. It's actually good to be back here to bring you the program Inside the Print Media. Today, my name is Kay Lyndon Tobad. We are very sorry that Grefina is not here. She's playing the role as a coordinating factor to enable us transition or transmit this broadcast here on today. So my voice quality is not very favorable. We are here to bring you the regular development we normally bring you. So today we have four different papers in our possession. We have the Front Page Africa newspaper, we have the Hot Pepper newspaper, we have the New Dawn newspaper, and lastly we have the Daily Observer newspaper. So all of these newspapers have amazing headlines relating to the developments and progress of Mama Liberia. So let's just take a short break. When we come back, we begin fill you in as it relates to all of the newspapers that I just read to you. Okay, welcome back again. So Front Page Africa News say the headline, ongoing house probe finds power theft, government failure to pay bills, regularly posing serious cash flow challenges for electricity service provider. I will read that headline again. Ongoing house probe finds power theft, government failure to pay bills regularly, posing serious cash flow challenges for electricity service provider. Let's give you the content of the story. The Liberia Electricity Corporation, on its all Liberian management team, has been given high rating since it took over at the end of July 2022. However, the reintroduction of the power sharing measure due to the low water volume in the St. Paul River as a result of the dry season has created dissatisfaction among some members of the public and prompted the House of Representatives to launch an investigation. The plenary decision reached during the 11th-day sitting on Thursday stems from a communication submitted by Representative Ta Wonwe District, now Nima County. Representative Wonwe cited various reports indicating issues that bordered on the disruptions in electricity supply and salary issue. The House then unanimously agreed to launch an inquiry taxing the Committee on the State-Owned Enterprise and Public Utility to conduct a thorough investigation into the LEC. The committee has stated its work. Front Page Africa observed top officials of LECs were disembarking their vehicles on Monday at the grounds of the Capitol and heading to the House of Representatives wing of the building for an exhaustive meeting with the committee members. While the meeting was held behind closed doors, legislative sources told Front Page Africa that ongoing investigation by the Committee on State Enterprises, Commissions, and Autonomous Agency showed that other underlying causes are hindering the smooth operations of LEC. Chief among others include high power tariff rate and failure of the government, which is a major consumer of electricity, to pay its bill regularly. Front Page Africa also gathered that other factors hindering the sector that make it difficult to attract private independent investors are tariff and not cost reflective, and therefore could not be profitable to engage in the sale of electricity. In addition, the legal system is too cumbersome and does not give comfort to potential investors. Despite these challenges, the committee has briefed that LEC, as a private operator, has continued to operate and provide services to the public. However, a former senior official of the WIA-led government told Front Page Africa that often overbilled the government, thereby making it difficult for the government to honor the bill. The official, who asked why the LEC failed to remit the government taxes it was collecting on the purchases of the token. In addition to that, cross-border power from Ivory Coast, it has been sold by LEC, but the government of Liberia was paying for the power while LEC was selling the power and using the funds. Addressing the Liberian media recently, the LEC office in Waterside CEO Captain said that LEC has connected over 80,000 customers, and despite the limited supply of connected community, he said, include Robertsport, Pool River, Tottenham Bird in Montserrat and Pingsville, as well as RIA and Marshall to Kakata and Guiala. From EBS to all Liberian management team. In 2022, EBS International, an Irish-based electricity firm, ended its 10-year management contract with the Liberian government, paving the way for all and a management-headed team by Money Captain as acting CEO. Captain has played an important role in the restorations of Liberia energy sector. He served as CEO of the Millennium Challenge Account Liberia, the entity that was managed by the U.S. Millennium Challenge Compact, which ended in 2021. As chairman on the board of LEC, Captain was called up by then President George Weah to serve as acting CEO following the departure of ESBI. Under his administration, the LEC has made significant improvement with the expansion of the energy grid and connections of more households and reduction of power theft. Front Page Africa gathered that Captain and his team outlined the progress of the management since it took over from ESBI and efforts that are being applied to meet up with the electricity demand, leaving the committee members impressed. Front Page Africa sources quote the current management team as saying that it did not inherit a single functional generator upon taking over from ESBI at the end of the July 2022. However, it has spent $2 million on repairing 4 plants and 4 generators that have boosted electricity supply. With 28 megawatt available at Bourgeois Island, the committee was told that the LEC also entered into a power purchase agreement with like Cote d'Ivoire, and why 50 megawatts was signed from Ivory Coast for 2024. It has not been able to get more than 27 megawatts. With the energy from my coffee lasting up to 6 hours daily, and with the increase of 60% of the LEC load, management acknowledged that there is still a supply gap according to inside sources, and the only way to manage a limited supply of electricity is to load shade, something that is not unique to Liberia, as other countries, including South Africa, Pakistan, Ghana, and even Ivory Coast do as well. With this being said, this is how we transition over to another headline. Concerned widows and children of the armed forces of Liberia threatening another protest. Concerned women and children of the armed forces of Liberia threatening another protest. The leadership of the concerned widows and children of the armed forces of Liberia has issued another ultimatum to President Joseph Boakai, demanding the actions of their grievances by March 15, 2024, or they will stage a protest in the streets of Monrovia. These women, some of them who lost their husband during the Liberian civil crisis, while defending their nations, have been advocating for their benefit. Some have unfortunately passed away during this struggle. Speaking to journalists on Monday, February 19, 2024, at the Star-based office on Bourgeois Island, Chairperson Madam Mary Allison recalled a meeting arranged by former President George Manuel Weah in 2018, which lasted 10 days. The meeting, facilitated by former Monrovia City Mayor Devonson T. Koji, saw Weah offering 20,000 to over 22,000 children in December 2023, with a promise to address the widow concern, had been won the 2023 presidential election. However, with Ambassador Boakai now in office, the widow are pressing for actions. Madam Allison stated that each widow is entitled to 1,000 negotiated down from 1,500 due to financial constraints faced by the previous administration. She urged President Boakai to empower them through agriculture and commercial activity to achieve self-sufficiency and support their family. Additionally, Madam Allison appealed to Vice President Jeremiah Pankun and Senate Pro Tempore Yomli Kanga Lawrence to intervene and facilitate discussion with President Boakai to resolve the issue promptly. Please, I am appealing again from now till next month, the 15th. Please call on us for a roundtable discussion to see how best to settle the AFL widow. From now till March 15th, please, I am appealing to your office, President Boakai. Call on your cabinet. You all go and meet to see how best to settle the AFL widow. Let this thing finish so we can go into agriculture. I want you to put us into agriculture, Mr. Boakai, and see what we will not produce. He stressed. She emphasized that the urgency of the matter, urging President Boakai to address the widow's need and dismiss any rumors surrounding them. Madam Allison clarified that the membership stands at 2,500, excluding the children settled by former President George Manuel Weah. Despite the government debt of 1,000 to each widow, Madam Allison suggested that President Boakai could use his discretion to provide support for their self-sustainability. However, she warned that if the demands are not met, they will mobilize 2,500 widows to protest in Monrovia Street, cooking palm butter in their cook pots as a demonstration until their grievances are addressed. With this being said, this is how we transition over to the last headline within the front page Africa newspaper. Court places temporary travel ban on Prophet Key, fails to secure bond in ongoing legal action filed by Ambassador Judy Andy. Popular social media talk show host Nakwayo Opa Ziagun, alias Prophet Key, will be restricted from leaving Liberia until legal certitude surrounding him is addressed amicably, following the Monrovia City Court's decision to grant him prosecution request to place traveling restrictions on him. The notification of Prophet Key traveling restriction was made by prosecution lawyer representing Ambassador Julie Andy when the social media talk show host appeared at the Monrovia City Court on Monday, February 19. The prosecution reminded the court that Prophet Key could bring before the court jurisdiction his traveling document while the trial is ongoing. They had earlier prayed the court to issue a writ of Eze Republica to prevent defendant Ziegler from leaving the country, which the court has agreed to grant. Prophet Key had easily filed a reconnaissance bond at the Monrovia City Court where he was arrested and brought before its jurisdiction based on a writ filed against him by Culture Ambassador Julie Andy. Prophet Key easily filed a reconnaissance bond at the Monrovia City Court when he was arrested and brought before its jurisdiction, but the prosecution on Monday, February 19, requested the court to rescind said bond and mandated him to file a criminal insurance bond, which was granted by Judge Ben Baiko. Prophet Key lawyer Anthony Salmon Fowler informed the reporter that his client up to Tuesday, February 20 at 1 p.m. to file said bond. He said the counts in the lawsuit against the client were misdemeanor offenses whose bond will not exceed 4,000 United States dollars. As such, his client has property values and can serve said these. Fowler lamented that his client had initially been granted a bond by an insurance company, but before the case, the company called and revoked the bond. However, the prosecution on Monday, February 19, requested the court to rescind said bond and mandate him to file a criminal insurance bond, which was granted by Judge Ben Baiko. Prophet Key lawyer Anthony Salmon Fowler informed reporters that his client has up to Tuesday, February 20 at 1 p.m. to file said bond. He said the counts in the lawsuit filed against his client were misdemeanor offenses whose bond may not exceed 4,000 United States dollars. As such, his client has property values and can serve said D. Fowler lamented that his client initially been granted a bond by an insurance company, but before the case, the company called revoking the bond. On Thursday, February 15, the popular talk show host was arrested and detained at the Monrovia City Court following a raid fight against him by Liberia Culture Ambassador Julie Andy. The arrest was in response to the allegation by Ambassador Andy. Prophet Key lied and used derogatory languages towards her. With this being said, this is how we transition over to the Hot Pepper newspaper. Aja donates laptop recorder to Hot Pepper, Eyes of the Globe. I will read that headline again. Aja donates laptop recorder to Hot Pepper, Eyes of the Globe. The Association of Liberian Journalists in America on Monday, February 19, 2024, donated a laptop and a digital voice recorder to the Hot Pepper newspaper and Eyes of the Globe newspaper each, making the donations to the two institutions at the Rose Garden Hotel. ADA Representative Charles Crawford said the organization has seen the need to identify with media outlets during this time when the Liberian media is challenged. We thought it is wise to galvanize resources to buy this equipment and identify with you while you are about to give our people adequate and balanced reportage, Crawford noted. Crawford underscored that ADA was pleased to identify with the Liberian media, emphasizing that they hope that the items will be used for the intended purpose. Speaking on behalf of the recipient, the managing director of Eyes for Globe, Paul Cobot, expressed thanks and appreciation to the entire membership of ADA, especially Crawford, who presented the item. Bodo also expressed appreciation to the executive director of the Center for Media Studies and Peace Building, Malcolm W. Joseph, whom he described as instrumental in ensuring that media practitioners receive the necessary contacts and donations to smoothly carry out their work. Please convey our information to your association that these items will be used exactly for the intended purpose, Bodo stated. The Hot Pepper newspaper was represented by its news editor, Sheikh Ojalo, who also expressed thanks and appreciation to Aja for the donation and similarly vowed to use the item for the intended purpose. With this being said, this is how we transition over to the Daily Observer newspaper. Waka war on drug gains momentum. Waka wars on drugs gains momentum. The Joseph Human Boakai administration is demonstrating significant progress in the fight against drug trafficking and substance abuse, with a focus on protecting the health and well-being of all citizens, especially the vulnerable youth population. A multi-sector committee established by President Boakai has been actively working to address substance abuse challenges through a combination of curative and preventive measures. In a recent development, the multi-sector committee on drugs and substance abuse announced plans to construct a national rehabilitation center for substance abuse victims and secure 1,500 acres of land in Bentonville, Montserrat County for this purpose. Additionally, a youth agriculture center will be established in Bentonville to provide agriculture training for individuals on ongoing rehabilitations in the center. Dr. Louis Makla Koto, the chairperson of the multi-sector committee who is overseeing the effort, stressed the importance of implementing evidence-based practices in the establishment of the rehabilitation center to effectively combat substance abuse and support individuals in the recovery journey. Dr. Koto, who is also the Minister of Health, said her team is carefully considering factors such as accessibility, suitability, and location potential impact on the community and resources needed for the smooth running of the facility. The National Steering Committee, with the support of President Boakai, the minister noted, will endeavor to implement evidence-based practices in setting up the rehabilitation center that will significantly contribute to combating substance abuse and supporting individuals in recovery. We as a committee will continue to be proactive in addressing drug issues according to the country, she said. The committee with President Boakai's support remains committed to addressing drug-related issues across the country, emphasizing the severe impact of drug, especially kush, in the nation. President Boakai declared substance abuse as a public health emergency, highlighting the imperative to address this present issue. The declaration was made amid a growing wave of drug-related death involving young people and the arrest of hundreds of drug traffickers and concerned stakeholders having plunged into action. President Boakai, in his maiden State of the Nation's address on January 29, observed that illicit drugs, especially kush, are destroying the future of the country. The drug pandemic, especially the use of kush in our country, is away the future of our children and the country. We must stand up and face the national security risks together. Given the need for immediate action to make good my pledge to the thousands of families burdened by this crisis, and hereby declaring drugs and substance abuse as a public health emergency. The commitment of key officials, including Councillor Ibrahim Kurman of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency and Councillor Ko Bangalo of Youth and Sport, reflects the government concerted effort to combat abuse comprehensively. Kurman disclosed to newsmen that the enrollment in the mental restructuring program will be exclusively voluntary. No one will be forced to go to the center. We will only take people who are willing to change, he said. He added that the coding process is ongoing at the moment, a move that will help to embrace positive change. He, however, informed journalists that defiant substance users categorized the regular clients who could be phone, lottery, and taken to the treatment center in Benton City. Drug users arrested in ghetto will be processed and turned over to the criminal justice system for prosecution, he noted. The Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency boss, however, stressed the urgent need to rehabilitate substance users because, according to him, 20% of the country's population is illegally using drugs. He said technical security mechanisms are being mobilized for the protections of the facility and surrounding communities. I am committed to reinforcing the law to the core, he said. The Minister of Youth and Sport, Bangalu, also a member of the committee, said the most sustainable approach to combating drug substance abuser, but also on capacitating them to be more useful in the society. Bangalu noted that rehabilitations and capacity building program, which led to the employment and meaningful contribution to society, are in line with the government's agenda. We are working on out modalities to ensure that the process is implemented immediately. With this being said, this is how we transition over to another headlines on the Daily Observer newspaper. Johnson N. Gweglu, an astute educator politician, dies at 68. Johnson N. Gweglu, a prominent figure known for his role as an educator and politician, passed away unexpectedly on Thursday, February 19, at the age of 68. Formerly representing Nima County, District 9, Gweglu served as chairman of various committees in the House of Representatives, including Foreign Affairs, Ways, Means, Finance, Administration, as well as Education and Public Administration. His sudden death occurred at the St. Joseph Catholic Hospital in Monrovia, with the cause of his passing remain undetermined. Gweglu's recent defeat in the October 10 election to Representative Tawongwe has been speculated as a possible contributor to his untimely death. The news of his passing has deeply saddened colleagues at the House of Representatives, as well as residents of Nima County and the nation at large. In addition to his legislative contribution, Gweglu had a diverse professional background that included roles with the National Transitional Legislative Assembly transition position within various governments and leadership roles at the United Methodist, where he served as president. The former Nima County representative was both a seasoned politician and an educator. Mr. Gweglu was a member of the interim Legislative Assembly, which later transitioned into the Liberia National Transitional Legislative Assembly, NTLA, from October 2003 to 2006. He served as presiding officer of the Legislative Assembly. At the time, he provided administrative direction to the body until a speaker was designated by the appropriate party. During the Liberia National Transitional Assembly, he served as chairman of the Committee on Foreign Affairs and also chairman on Ways, Means, Finance, and Development Planning. 11 years later, Representative Gweglu again joined the legislature after October 2017 general election, when he was elected representative of District 9, Nima County. He was the chairman of the Committee on Education and Public Administrations and co-chaired on the Committee of Public Works. He lastly served as chairman on Rules and Orders and Administration. In the executive branch of government, the late Gweglu served in various capacities, ranging from executive director of the National Investment Commission to deputy minister for administration at the Ministry of Finance, Labor, and Public Work, respectively. He also worked with the UNDP to establish the development diplomacy program, by which Liberian Foreign Service officers were assigned to the Liberian diplomatic mission to specifically pursue development initiatives. With the United Methodist University, he rose from vice president for business and finance to president. At the helm of the UMU, he provided leadership and surveillance for all aspects of the university, including academic, finance and planning, student affairs, enrollment, advancement, athletics, and other key areas. With this being said, this is how we move over strictly to the New Dawn newspaper. But before giving you the content of the New Dawn newspaper, we would love to take a very short break.
Focal TV. bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV, with check and balance, we break it as it unfolds. Focal TV, bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV, the best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Topo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting. Keep focal.
Lastly, from the New Dawn newspaper, 178 at-risk youth prepare for graduation. That is what New Dawn newspaper is reporting. At least 178 at-risk youths have completed the government of Liberia rehabilitation program and are gearing up for graduation in the next 2 weeks. These young individuals, once facing various challenges and risks, have now completed a rigorous rehabilitation program amid providing them with essential life skills, education, and support to reintegrate them into society positively. Speaking during the turnover ceremony at the Ministry of Health in Congo time, former Health Minister Dr. Wilhelmina S. Jala revealed that in 2 weeks, the at-risk youth group will be reintegrated back into society to reunite with their families. On June 30, 2022, the government, in collaboration with the One UN Systems in Liberia, launched the at-risk youth program intended to take youthful Liberians who are addicted to drugs off the streets. About a year ago, the former President George Weah launched 13 million rehabilitation program in 2022 for drug-addicted youth. A committee was established with the goal of assisting 500 individuals per year through the counseling section, vocational training, educational workshop, and recreational activity tailored to meet the specific needs of each participant. The rehabilitation program is spearheaded by local authorities in collaboration with the community organizations and NGO focused on addressing the root causes of delinquencies and providing comprehensive support to participants. Over the course of several months, the Assistant Ministers of Curative Services at the Ministry of Health and Head of Technical Group at the at-risk youth program, Dr. Bowie G. Logan, disclosed that Liberia was grappling with 47,917 at-risk youth. Dr. Logan, on Tuesday, July 13, 2023, at one of the Ministry of Information regular briefing in Monrovia, explained several mapping exercises were conducted across the country, including an assessment in 2022 with 13,244 at-risk youths identified and 396 different staff forces, all from 15 political subdivisions in Liberia. He disclosed at the time that the subsequent training phases were scheduled for August, September, and November, respectively, for the group. According to the release issued under the signature of Deputy Information Minister Jalawa Tampo, the government of Liberia, through the National Steering Committee at the at-risk youth program, stated the recruitment of on August 20, witnessing 105 at-risk youth being documented. Out of the 105 at-risk youth, 88 are male, while 17 are female, Tompo said. However, the impending graduation ceremony serves as a significant milestone for the graduate, making not only the successful completion of the rehabilitation program, but also the readiness to embrace a brighter future. While Dr. Jala did not give full details of the graduation ceremony, she indicated that the first batch of the graduate will be coming out in 2 weeks' time. As these are 178 youth prepared to receive their certificate of completion, they are serving as a shining example of resilience, determination, and the potential for positive change within every individual. The pending graduation does not only signify the personal growth and achievement, but also underscores the importance of investing in rehabilitation programs to support vulnerable youth and foster safer and inclusive community. The graduation ceremony stands as a beacon of hope, symbolizing the transformative power of rehabilitation and the promise for a brighter future of Liberia for all. So with this being said, this is how we will close up on all of the presentations from the various newspaper, the Front Page Africa newspaper, the Daily Observer newspaper, the Hot Pepper newspaper, and lastly, the New Dawn newspaper. So basically, with all of those newspapers that was read to you, given the summary of all of those newspapers, one of the things that we need to caution our people, especially regarding the stance against drug, is important that President Joseph Human Boakat has since declared drug and substance abuse as a national public health emergency, thereby establishing a multi-sectoral committee to basically tackle these issues. So on yesterday, I saw a video on the social media where the LDA boss Abraham Cromand, a man who once served as operational for the Liberian National Police under the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration, because of his aggressive natures on how he was proceeding on many Liberians, especially the motorcyclists at the time. He was being dismissed based upon the cry by many Liberians. So again, we're looking up to Abraham Cromwell, how he intends to drive the agenda of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. So just grabbing these people, of those who are specifically involved into the issues about drug addiction, is not the best way. It's not the best way to tackle the issues about drug in our country. They are what for me. I'm mostly concerned about the issues about the rehabilitation program. What kind of rehabilitation program do we want to offer to those people who are addicted to drug and substance abuse? Those are the kinds of concern we need to tailor our ideas to. The issues about just going and having the ghettos in the various community broken down is never a permanent solution. Our permanent solution, I think, the government under His Excellency President Joseph Human Boakat needs to invest more abundantly in empowering the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. Like you have declared, that the president has declared the drug and substance abuse as a national public health emergency. I think it is about time that he needs to get all of the paramilitary organizations involved into this particular issue, not just rely only on the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. So, like Abraham Croman stated during his confirmation hearing, that he will commit that he will work to ensure that all agents of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency commit themselves to a drug testing. It is based upon the drug testing that he or she will be qualified as an agent of the Drug Enforcement Agency. That is a very good startup, because it would be very, very disappointing that you be pursuing drugs. People who are involved into drugs trafficking or who are taking in drugs, and you yourself you are susceptible to these same substances. Then you will not be setting any good, you will not be setting any good example. So almost all of those things he spoke about, they are all very, very good. They are all very, very good. But we want to see our brothers and sisters, especially those who are being susceptible to the issues about drug addiction, can be reintegrated into the society. So the issues about reintegrating these people into the society is something, is a debate all by itself. It should be tracked upon with carefulness. We need to be very, very impassioned in doing this particular initiative. So, like when Abi Krumah, the video I was actually watching yesterday, he was outlining. He took the journalists there to actually see how to actually see the headquarters of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. For me, it is actually a shame on the angle of the past government, owing to the fact that President Weah, of the 6 years he served as president of the country, he was not able to build a very unique structure for the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. Currently, there has always been this issue that many of the work, 75% of the fools, or 75% of the workforce of the Liberia drug enforcement agencies are not even employed. Many of them are voluntary, and many of them are engaged into volunteerism. So that is not a very good start. I think Abraham Command, as a boss, he should be able to demonstrate innovation in whatever he does. You understand? So that is just my little advice to the boss of the Liberia drug enforcement agency, and he should be very careful. He shouldn't listen to calls from higher up, because normally when you catch people, people, because like President we have said, Liberians are interrelated. So normally when you catch somebody, then another person calling and say, my man, I'm interested, and these are all of the factors that can undermine the activity. Sometimes people want to be very robust in doing what they are called to do, but when you are listening to when you are listening to a lot of people, you tend to undermine the kind of work you do. So with this being said, this is how we will call this segment of day. My name is K. Lyndon Togba, and we are very sorry. Thanks to Grafina for playing the role as a coordinating factor on this broadcast. So many thanks to all of you, to all of our esteemed viewers, our esteemed followers. Have yourself a blessed day.